Hey, everybody, welcome to the Soccer Sharps, a soccer betting podcast. Jordan, we return for midweek Champions League action, and boy, we're covering a lot. We've got 10 official plays for you guys. 10 matches with many more plays than that. If you're interested, stick around, baby. Here we go.
Martial, Herrera, Ibrahimovic! Oh my God, an insane goal! I've just seen the most insane goal I have ever seen on a football pitch! Balotelli, Aguero!
It's time for the Champions League. Jordan, we return for Matchday 5?
Six already.
Matchday 6. Yeah, and you know what it's starting to remind me of, and I don't want to start this off on a bad note, but this league phase, I think I'm done. I'm done. I'm out on it. Because it reminds me of the NBA regular season, where you don't really give a shit. It's like there's not really jeopardy. I don't really know what I'm rooting for here. Once it gets to the business end, and then we get to the playoffs, or the knockout phase, as they'll call it, it gets a lot more interesting. And I go, okay, now I know what I'm looking at. But right now in these match day 6, I don't know. Does this matter?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. We talked about it a little bit before that certainly at the top, certainly within the top 16 or whatever, it doesn't really feel like it matters to a lot of the teams. I guess maybe they care a little bit about top 8, but they're not going to like break their backs to do it, right? Just getting that one round bye, not a huge difference. And so many of these teams are advancing anyway, right? 24 of them move on. But there is some jeopardy down towards the bottom, right? Making that top 24. The teams outside looking in right now, they'll certainly be motivated, we hope. But it is tough to pick the spots. We hope we're going to get some bangers here, though, because there are some nice matchups.
Yeah, amazing matchups. And I don't mean to dampen the spectacle of it, because when you've got Inter against Liverpool, you've got, of course, Real Madrid and Manchester City. Awesome matches. They're going to be awesome. We're going to bet on them. You know we are. But let's go ahead and recap what happened over the weekend, because maybe we can do it quickly. It wasn't fun for me, George. Was not fun. I went 1-3. Absolute trash. Lost 2 units, a little more than 2 units. George, 2-4. At least you were about even there. And Bob, our guest from the last show, breaking down the MLS, not the MLS, as he told us, it's just MLS Cup, went 3-1, plus 2.89 units, keeping us afloat for 6-8 total, plus a little more than half a unit.
Yeah. And Dev, look, thanks to Bob for keeping us in plus territory. Technically, we turned in a winning show, and that's coming off the back of our midweek show from last week, which was an absolute banger. We did so well that the gambling gods smited us immediately and gave us stinkers over the weekend. But Dev, I will say this is a good time to tell people, maybe anyone who's new to our show, to check out our Discord server. There's an invite link in the description, because even though I did kind of poorly on these official plays, I was on a goddamn heater in the Discord, Dev. I turned in plus 7 units just about this weekend.
Let's go.
With a bunch of extra plays. So guys, jump in the Discord. Free to join. Lots of plays in there, because sometimes it's just easier for me. We get to the weekend. You can take games in isolation. It's obviously harder to pick these games ahead of time and decide what are the best plays, right? So, yeah. Come in the Discord. We've also got a lot of sharp listeners to our podcast, and they're giving out winners as well. But Dev, yeah, it's midweek again. We did well last midweek. Let's do it again.
Hell yeah, Jordan. Let's dive in, because we got a lot of matches. We're covering 10 matches here. It gets started on Tuesday with the wrong graphic on the screen. It's Bayern Munich against Sporting Portugal. This one sees Bayern as home favorites of 1.75 goals, minus 1.75. The total is set at 3.5. George, both teams to score yes is minus 134. If Sporting can get on the board at all, if they score a single goal, you can get that for minus 150 on their team total. But George, gotta be Bayern in this one, right? At home in the Allianz. I'm wearing the kit right now. What do you think about that?
Love it. Nice throwback kit there, Dev. Yeah, it's got to be Bayern, right? It's Bayern Munich at home in the Champions League. Say no more. They will win this game. They will score goals in this game. Will they cover the spread? Maybe. It's a big spread. Sporting hit and miss, right? But even on their best day, I don't see them coming to the Allianz and getting a result here. Maybe they could cover that spread for you. I think there's every chance they contribute to the total, right? Over 3.5. With Bayern's team total lined at over 2.5, kind of suggests that if you're going to hit the over 3.5, Sporting do contribute. But it's not a sure thing, right? Both teams score, yes, minus 134. So, Dev, I went back to the well with one of my favorite Bayern bets. And usually what I like to do is Bayern to score in both halves and Bayern to win a corner in both halves. But that was still prohibitively priced. So what I did, Dev, I took Bayern to score in both halves and Bayern to have the most corners in the match. And that's coming in at plus 105. I love that. They're going to be on the front foot. They're going to dominate possession. They're going to win the corner count. The question is, can they score in both halves? And I think they can.
Yeah, look, we mentioned before about the Champions League places. Is there really jeopardy in this? Bayern sitting in third in the table right now. Definitely safe for the next round, I think we can say already. The question is, can they get that sort of bye of the top 8? So they'll want to have that, but we might see a weakened lineup here, get a little bit of rotation. But then again, Bayern's basically already won the Bundesliga. I think they're 9 points clear right now. So what do they care? This is all they have to do. And Harry Kane wants goal records, so they're going to come out here firing. So because of that, Jordan, I'm going to take Bayern to win. And to get it on side, I don't want to lay a goal in 3/4 too much because Sporting, let's give them some credit here. They can put up some goals. They got some guys who can score. Luis Suarez, the Colombian Luis Suarez, different Luis Suarez, playing up top for them. He has a nice goal scoring record.
And he doesn't bite people either.
Not yet. He's young. He's got many years of biting.
So far, not a biter.
Yeah, that we know about. But
wow.
Because of all that, I do think Bayern can be plays a pretty high line. They can give up goals. So I think that total over 3.5 is a run or two. You can play that on its own. Minus 103. I'm seeing here on our card over 3.5 goals in the match. But I'm just going to tack on Bayern to win with that total. Come out to plus 110, get a little bit of plus money on it. I feel pretty good about it. I mean, is there a world where it's like Bayern wins 3-0? Yes, but I think Sporting can contribute. And if they do, then I really think that total should fly over.
Well, Dev, yeah, I like it for you because I think you're 6-1 on your last 7 plus money plays. So I like that you tacked something onto that 3.5 to get you into plus money territory, baby.
Yeah, last midweek, I was hitting all my plus monies, and I went back to like minus 110s on the weekend, lost them all. So I think that tells you. Got to stick with the plus money, baby. Let's move on, George. We got so many more matches coming. This is a good time to tell you guys
before you move on, we got a comment in the chat. Apparently, this is from Aaron DeSantis. Apparently, I read Sporting left all of their top players in Portugal. Well, that only helps our plays. So thanks for sharing that, Aaron.
Yeah, hopefully it's their defenders as well then, so we can get like a Bayern 6-0 or something. If that's what ends up happening. But George, let's move on. We got more matches to cover. This one also on Tuesday. It is Atalanta against Chelsea. This one sees Atalanta as home dogs of 1/4 of a goal on the Asian handicap. The total is set at 2.75. George, Chelsea to score twice here, minus 120, but Chelsea on the money line at plus 115. Tough to look past that. An English club traveling to a struggling Serie A side right now.
Yeah, Deb, they're certainly the better team on paper. But I can't really make heads or tails of this Chelsea team. A couple of weeks ago, we were talking about how they might be mounting a title challenge in England, and then they promptly lost to Leeds and had a 0-0 draw with Bournemouth over the weekend. So not exactly title race form there from them. I'm not sure what we're going to get. So I'm not touching them as a road favorite here against anyone at the moment because I do make Atalanta stronger than Leeds, certainly. Bournemouth, it might be close. So, yeah, I stayed away from this one, Dev, because one of my biggest pitfalls over the weekend was backing road favorites, and it irritated me. And so I'm trying to kind of avoid that if I can this week.
Yeah, well, Jord, I'm not going to shy away. I'm going to hammer this Chelsea money line because we've talked about on this show with the Champions League just how much better the English Premier League is than every other league in Europe. The EPL is a super league. Even the mid-table lower tier teams, except Wolverhampton, apparently, can compete with anybody. They can beat anybody on any day. So the competition there is just so good. It's such an intense league. This will be an interesting clash of styles, right? Because Atalanta, a little more that sort of Serie A focus, take your time. It's a lot more technical in terms of like setting up players in positions, taking their time, where the EPL is like all gas all the time. And the thing that is so weird about Chelsea is that they play to their competition, right? They destroyed Barcelona at home 3-0. And they came out of the blocks flying. It was like they were pumped up for that game. They were ready for it. But then you're right. They turn around. They draw with Arsenal. It was a good match. They were down to 10 men again. And then got blown out by Leeds, who basically took the match to them. It was like they weren't up for it. Then the 0-0 with Bournemouth. I mean, what the hell was that? Awful. So they turn around here. I think they're due for a win. And this Atalanta team just lost to Verona, of all clubs, 3-1. They're relegation side, or battling relegation side in the Serie A. So to me, just getting Chelsea at this price is too good to pass up, George. Give me that money line here.
And once again, Dev, it is plus money. So that bodes well for you. Damon in the chat says, iPad died. I'm back. Can't wait to hear the intercap. Well, Damon, you're in luck because that is the next match.
That's right. Let's move on. This one also taking place on Tuesday. It's Internazionale Milano against Liverpool. This one sees Inter as home favorites of a quarter of a goal, minus 0.25 on that Asian handicap. The total is set at 2.75. Wow, Jord, the numbers on this. Look at this. Liverpool as dogs getting a quarter of a goal at even money. Their team total to score twice, plus 150. Liverpool on the money line, plus 230. What's going on here with Liverpool, Jord?
Well, Dev, I should also say that this graphic was made about 20 hours ago, and the lines have since moved. Liverpool are now catching about a half of a goal at a more juiced price. You can get them at a half a goal, minus 125. So we have seen movement there. And look, I don't know if that's because of all the Mo Salah drama that we've heard over the weekend, right? Coming out, throwing his toys out of the pram, as they say. Coming at Slot in the media. Don't want to be doing that. And so Slot left him behind. I think there's a world where that could actually be a good thing for this Liverpool team. Leave the problem child at home, galvanize the squad, come together. Maybe that happens. We do know that Liverpool are a storied Champions League club. They do get up for these European nights. Now, on the other side of this, Steph, Inter. We both had Como +1 over the weekend. Como, who had the best Serie A defensive record and who hadn't lost in 12 straight matches. They got absolutely cooked 4-0 by this Inter team. Didn't see that coming. That was a surprise. We sure know how to jinx a team on an unbeaten run, Dev. But listen, even with all of Liverpool's frailties at the moment and all the poor results that they've been getting, we got to remember that it wasn't that long ago that Liverpool started the season with 7 successive wins in all competitions. They still have tons of talent on the pitch. They're a good side. And we just talked about how the Premier League is leagues ahead of all the other leagues in Europe. This Inter team also hasn't done great in big games this season. They lost to Napoli. They lost to Juventus. They lost to Atletico Madrid. Are they just kind of punching down this season? Now, Como, I thought, was a pretty good test for them, and they passed that one with flying colors. So I don't know, but I think Liverpool, a better side than Como, even with what they're struggling with at the moment. So I took the plus a half a goal with Liverpool after it had moved since this graphic. I like getting the 2 outcomes here, and I'm just hoping that Liverpool can pull something out of their ass and have a little bit of a bounce back from yet another sort of embarrassing result against Leeds over the weekend.
Jordy, I'm gonna disagree with you, buddy.
We're up.
This is coming at the worst time for Liverpool. They got this Mo Salah drama. It's all over the English media. It's all anyone's talking about. They're leaving him at home now. And his whole thing is like, well, I've been a great steward for the club, yada, yada. I don't even give a shit. I don't want to get into it. I don't care. But leaving him
What's
at
the
home.
betting angle?
Yeah, exactly. How does Virgil van Dijk feel about this? The captain, the guy who's been through the wars with Salah, some of these guys that have been in this team for a while, McAllister, these players who know Salah well, like Slot's on the verge of losing the locker room. And if they don't show up for this game and they get like beaten handily here by Inter, that seat's going to be real hot, I would think, because you can't, he's a club legend, Mo Salah, and the fans love him. And if you're not putting in results like they haven't been, this team can't get out of their own way, right? Drawing against Leeds, drawing against Sunderland at Anfield. Of course, they beat West Ham. Everyone beats West Ham, as you pointed out.
Yeah.
Got destroyed in their last Champions League outing against PSV. I'm struggling to find the good result for Liverpool, and you're getting this Inter team coming off their last 3 matches across all comps here. They've scored 11 and only conceded 1. They're the top team in terms of expected goal differential per 90 in this Champions League phase. Liverpool are 3rd, so they're not far off that pace. But if you look at the big 5 European leagues combined, that same statistic I love to look at, expected goal differential per 90. Inter top 4, only behind Bayern, Madrid, and Arsenal. So this team's real good, Jordan, and they're at home here at the San Siro against a Liverpool team with a lot of noise swirling around them. So how do you bet it, right? I got a little scared. I got a little gun shy because I was looking at that money line plus 115. Feels pretty good. Inter have not drawn a single match in any competition this season. So maybe they're due for one. And because of that, I ended up going with just the Asian handicap here, just minus -1/4 goal. Fair enough play at that price for the home team here. Minus 118, not the best, but I don't know, Jordan. I just want to be on this Inter team side, especially with all the noise surrounding Liverpool.
Yeah, and to be clear, Dev got Inter -1/4 when this card was made. So he's playing Inter -1/4. I got Liverpool plus a full half of a goal. So I guess in terms of the podcast, we're rooting for a draw, right? That would be the best overall. I know obviously you want the Inter win, but in terms of the pod doing well, a draw would be a decent result for us.
We have to lose 1/4 goal, or I'm sorry, half a unit or a full unit, basically.
Right.
Those are the only options.
However, as we put in the fine print in the Discord when we post the official plays, directly Oppo plays will not go on the official record because it's basically gratuitous and guarantees a loss.
Stupid.
So
yeah. But look who's back, Jordan. We got ML Kid in the chat. He says, I'm running it back. Liverpool team is barbecue chicken and in turmoil. Both teams to score in the first half, plus 285. Love the price on that. And look, this could explode into a big scoring game because there's enough talent on both sides of these teams to have a ton of goals. My fear is that it like grinds down. Slot does one of his fucking slot things and starts like, Szoboszlai at right back, and he's just like,
that's why
Connor Bradley, and
I didn't want to mess with a total in this.
But you could see it. I could see lots of goals,
because Konate needs to come out of the firing line. He needs to come out of the squad. Not a lot of players are covering themselves in glory in this Liverpool team, but this dude, his errors are just so glaring every week. It's just like you feel for the guy.
So they take out Konate, though. Who do they have? Like Joe Gomez?
Yeah, I think they'd probably go Joe Gomez there and then play Bradley on the right. I think Robertson probably comes in for Kirk as for this one. I'm not sure, but we shall see.
We shall see. And this is a good time to tell you guys that don't bet on these matches until you see lineups. You got to see the lineups. We're going to get to the big one much later, but you got to check the lineups. You can't trust these managers.
No.
Damon in chat says that's an official half unit play. Okay. He must be talking about ML Kids. Both teams score in the first half. Love to see it. The chat helping each other out.
The chat helping each other out. And we've got a decent amount of people here live with us. We do appreciate you tuning in. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, please consider dropping a like. It really helps us out. And it will give you good karma for your bets.
And while you're at it, just subscribe. You can get all of our shows. You can see them when they pop up live. You can see them when they're there already. So appreciate you guys checking us out. Let's move on, Jordan. We've got another banger of a match. This one also on Tuesday. It's Barcelona against Eintracht Frankfurt. This one sees Barca as home favorites of 2.25 goals, minus 2.25. The total is set at a flat 4 goals, Jordan. But both teams to score yes is minus 134. So the bookies, they're not so sure Frankfurt even gets on the score sheet here, and they think Barcelona is going to score quite a few. What do you think about this matchup?
Well, Dev, yeah, look, things have changed since the start of the season here with this Frankfurt team. They were looked at, preseason as one of the teams who were going to challenge Bayern for the title, and now they're just getting boat raced constantly. I'm not sure what happened, but I do think they probably get on the score sheet here. Frankfurt to score minus 150. Barcelona concede to everybody, except for the time I last said that the following game. They did not. But I do think they probably get on the score sheet here, but it's hard to not see them getting boat raced again. Dev, they got crushed 6-0 by Leipzig over the weekend. They lost, what was the last one? Atalanta in the Champions League. Frankfurt were at home. They lost 3-0. Napoli had a 0-0 with them in the Champions League. That was sort of interesting. Even this despondent Liverpool team went to Frankfurt and won 5-1. So hard to see Barcelona at the Camp Nou not putting multiple goals past this Frankfurt side, regardless of whether or not Frankfurt get on the score sheet. So I just want to stick with the Barca side of this, but how to play it, right, Dev? Big spread, big team total. I think there's every chance they do cover both. But when these things happen, I try to cut the game in half, right? So I was looking at a first half total, but I got a little bit greedy, Dev. You can get that full game team total for Barcelona, over 3.5 goals scored at plus 120. Literally cut that in half and get the same price in the first half. Barcelona team total over 1.5 in the first half, plus 120. That's the way I'm going to go with this. But I do think we probably do see 5 or 6 goals in this one.
Yeah, Jordan, I think that's a great way to play this, by the way, cutting that in half. This is going to be one-way traffic. This is going to be a tough one for the boys at Frankfurt. And you mentioned what happened to them. I mean, look, they sold Ekitike was their best player. They are a strange combination of players. When you look at their lineups, there's like a lot of like journeymen. There's a couple like older veterans and a bunch of like teenagers. So it's a very strange combination. They got to travel to the Camp Nou, where Barcelona, since they reopened and returned there this season, have not lost, and they've won each of those games by at least 2 goals. Yeah, a lot of ways you could play this. I was really struggling to find an angle that I thought presented value. I was looking at that over 4, like you push out on a 4, but I'm not sure Frankfurt can score here. I'm not sure they're going to get on the board. So because of that, I ended up just going with the Barcelona spread here, minus 2.25. They got to win this by 3, but I really think this is going to be like 5-1, 4-1, in which case I would catch that spread. So that's what I'm going with, Jordan. It's just one-way traffic at the Camp Nou. Everybody getting on the score sheet. Good time to pick out some goal scorers, throw them in goal score parlays, that kind of thing. Parlay pieces everywhere.
And you love that Rafinha's back. You love that Pedri's back. That makes a big difference to this team. I agree with you, Dev. And it's such a shame because the last Champions League week we took in that game where Chelsea destroyed Barcelona.
Oh, my God.
Chelsea still had like 7 offsides, and they've taken it away, at least in Arizona. You can't play the offsides market in the Champions League or in La Liga anymore. It's a crying shame. They still offer it in the Prem, but who wants that? Yeah, real shame. So if you guys still have offsides markets in your state or wherever you're at, your country, do look at those offsides because I think Frankfurt get quite a few here.
Yeah, that's the way Barcelona plays. Talk about it all the time. ML Kid is in the chat. I believe he's talking about the previous matchup. This is Inter and Liverpool. He said over 5.5 at plus 800. Just putting that out in the universe. Would you love to see it? Again, that was Inter and Liverpool, I believe. But Jordan, let's move on because plenty more matchups. This one also on Tuesday. It's PSV Eindhoven against Atletico Madrid. This one sees PSV as quarter of a goal underdogs at home here, and the total is set at a flat 3. Jordan, I don't know what to do with Atletico Madrid. They're so Jekyll and Hyde. They can't win the big games, yet they can be so impressive when I do see them. What do you think about this matchup, Jordan, with Atleti traveling to Eindhoven?
Yeah, Dev, I'm with you. Atleti's been disappointing. They are one of the aforementioned road favorites that I took domestically over the weekend, traveling to Athletic Club Bilbao. I took them on the money line. They lost the game. So, yeah, look, they have been poor travelers. They've been excellent at the Metropolitano. They have not been so good away from it. And this PSV team in excellent form right now. They are doing really well in the Champions League as well, right? We talked about already that they destroyed Liverpool at Anfield 4-1. They also crushed Napoli, and they crushed someone else. Oh, Leverkusen as well, just winning by massive margins here. So I think they'll be up for this one. And given the recent woes of Atleti on the road, I think there's every chance that PSV can do something in this match, Dev. I was tempted by the money line. I have to say, I was thinking about it, but
PSV
I got to give
money
you
line plus 210.
Plus 210. But I got to say, it's been a while since the hand ringers made an appearance. He had to come out here. All right. So I think there's, if I like PSV on the money line, obviously I'm going to like him getting 2 outcomes. So I'm taking PSV on the double chance, Dev, and I'm tacking on over 1.5 goals in the match. That brings in the 1-1. It brings in a 2-0 PSV, obviously. And then anything else, I do think Atleti probably score here. The market thinks so. Minus 200 for both teams to score, yes. But yeah, I can't trust anything with this Atleti team, especially as a road favorite against a team that's as hot as PSV right now and who are playing with house money where they sit in the standings, right? Let me see actually where they are in the standings because it's higher than you would think. They sit 15th.
Atleti's 12, yeah.
Yeah, so PSV 15th here, but just 2 points off of 2 points off of that top 8. So every reason for them to go for it here. That would be a big achievement for them to finish top 8. And this Atleti team, they're vulnerable right now. So yeah, I took that PSV double chance and over 1.5 goals, and that's coming in at minus 105.
Right on, Jordan. Well, you're going to love this. PSV, no losses in 14 straight matches across all competitions. That is very impressive.
Just like Como. Yeah.
Yeah, just like Como. But yeah, I stayed away from this. I said I can't get Atleti right. Losing to Bilbao at the weekend is so damning. That Bilbao team is garbage. We're going to get to them later. And how do you lose? I just don't see how they could lose that game, especially when they had just come off the Barcelona disappointing loss. Are they going to lose 3 matches in a row?
Bilbao did get some players back for that one. As soon as I saw the lineup, I was like, shit.
Great time to mention, check the lineups. Do not make bets until you guys see the lineups. Because there will be some weird shit, I'm telling you. There will be some weird stuff because we don't know if this competition means anything. We don't know if it matters, these individual games.
Just wait till we get to the ultimate hand ringer coming later in the show. But look, it's nice to see Jay Mullet in the chat, a Discord regular, says, "Sup, guys? Happy to catch a live stream. Thanks for the content." Well, thank you, Jay. We appreciate that.
Thanks, Jay Mullet. We appreciate that. Well, let's move on, Jordan, to another English Premier League side. It's Tottenham Hotspur against Slavia Praha. This one sees Tottenham as home favorites of a goal and a quarter, minus 1.25. The total is set at 2.75. George, both teams to score, yes, minus 106. But Spurs don't concede goals, at least not many of them. They're minus 250 on the money line. I don't know what to do with this one, Jordan. What do you think about this matchup?
Well, Spurs can concede goals, certainly, right? We've seen them in this competition concede quite a few, right? 5 to PSG, a couple to Bodo. The problem is Slavia don't score goals, right? 4 straight Champions League games without scoring. Makes you wonder why I'm taking the play I'm taking, Dev, because the play I'm taking, spoiler alert, is Slavia to score a goal. I'm going to come. I'm taking it. Team total over 0.5 at minus 132. Look, we've talked about Spurs' woes at home. They're coming off of playing 2 games in just a few days, and now they got to play again. That midweek prem, something that other domestic leagues did not have to deal with in Europe. So maybe that helps Slavia here. They have no reason not to go for it. They're not out of making the top 24, despite all these goals they're failing to score in their last several matches. They have pulled off a couple of 0-0s. So they do have a few points. If they go for this, they have no reason not to. They can make the top 24. And I think they can get on the board here. I think they can buck the trend. They're going to score again eventually in this competition. And the Spurs team love to be Spursy. All right. I think they probably win the game. I think they score a couple of goals here, but I do think they leave the back door open, baby, as you like to say, Dev. And yeah, that's my play here. Slavia to score minus 132.
Yeah, I think if I was going to look at anything here, I'd just look at that under, because Slavia, yes, they haven't scored in their past 3 Champions League games, but they've also only conceded in one of those games. They kept Athletic Club Bilbao to a clean sheet. They kept Atalanta to a clean sheet. They lost to Arsenal 3-0. Tottenham, not as good as Arsenal, clearly, but maybe like on the level of Bilbao or Atalanta. So what will this be? I don't know. I think it's going to be tight, cagey, not a lot of scoring. I wish you luck, George. You only need one thing to happen, which is a nice place to be with a bet. Just get Slavia to score here.
Right.
Well, let's move on. And I believe we are now moving to the Wednesday matches. We are, Jordan. It is an aforementioned, a couple of teams we've been talking about already. It is Athletic Club Bilbao against Paris Saint-Germain. This one sees Athletic Club as +1 full goal underdogs at home. And the total is set at 2.75. Jordan, Bilbao, that just came off that victory against Atletico Madrid. We mentioned that. And PSG have to take a look at what their most recent result was. But what do you think about this matchup, Jordan, taking place in Bilbao?
Yeah, we talked about Bilbao being pretty poor in recent weeks. I've faded them a few times domestically in La Liga. They just haven't been good, but they have had reasons for it. Missing key players. They did get Oyhan Soundset back in the midweek, or over the weekend, which made a massive difference. He was suspended for a while. He would have played in this one regardless, but Berenguer is back. Inaki Williams still out, but Nico's out there. I like PSG here. I think they probably win the game. Dev, the -1 was kind of looking like a free hit to me, right? They're the far superior side. Bilbao have been in a bad way overall, despite having some players back now. PSG should be winning this game, but as I mentioned at the top of the show, not loving backing road favorites right now, so I left this one alone.
Well, I'm going to do it, Jordan. I'm going to come. I'm going to take the -1 here. This feels like exactly like you said, a free hit. They going to win. I think they're going to win. Can they win by a margin? Probably. They just won their last game I mentioned I didn't know. 5-0 against Rennes. They're getting some guys back. Now, it's interesting. They're having to Enrique's having to play a little bit of like shuffling guys around because looks like Nuno Mendes, Achraf Hakimi, we know, has been out. He had that horrific ankle thing. Nuno Mendes was out on the weekend. Desiree Doué is probably going to be out for a long time as well. But they're starting to get some of the other pieces back. Dembele's coming back now. Kvaratskhelia is still in incredible form. This kid, Mayulu, has been quite good for them and sporadically. So they're getting these pieces back. Fabian Ruiz, Vitinha, and Neves. That midfield 3 I always talk about, they all seem to be ready to go. So assuming rational coaching decisions, assuming rational lineups are played, I like PSG getting -1 here to get the road victory.
Yeah, that's fair enough, Deb.
Well, let's move on, Jordan. We've got more matches coming. This one is Bayer Leverkusen against Newcastle United. This one sees Leverkusen as home dogs of a quarter of a goal, plus 0.25, and the total is set at 2.75. Jord, boy, I think you can take any direction here on the three-way money line, either team to win or the draw. I think all could be in play here, but what do you think about this matchup?
Well, Dev, as you say, yeah, I think this one's tough to call. You could take any of these. I don't know what to expect for this one. Newcastle certainly improved in recent weeks. You make them a much stronger team than Leverkusen, but Leverkusen finding some form as well. They'll be buoyed by their last result, right, where they went to the Etihad and won 2-0 against Man City. That was, I don't think anyone saw that coming. So, yeah, I think they'll fancy their chances here at home against another Premier League side who obviously aren't as good as City. But this is another one I left alone, Dev. Just too much variance, too up in the air for me. I couldn't find an angle.
Yeah, it's a weird team. Leverkusen, very strange team. What they've done. That Man City match was insane. Mark Flecken, the goalkeeper, was man of the match. I think he had 9 saves. Tells you a lot about what happened in that Champions League meeting. But then they turn around, they lose to Dortmund. But then they play Dortmund again in the Pokal and they win. Then they lost this weekend against Augsburg. I mean, they're just all over the place. At least with Newcastle, they bring it every time. They just coming off a loss in their last Champions League outing against Marseille, also on the road. But the way this Newcastle team plays, they're just so aggressive. They're so physical. If that team shows up, then they should have no problem defeating Leverkusen. It looks like Grimaldo will be missing this one for Leverkusen. He's a huge loss. Their set piece specialist, with him out of the match, it would take a lot of their set piece operations away. And again, I just think the EPL level is higher. So I'm going to go with the money line here, Jordan, plus 140. It's very similar to the Chelsea match that we broke down earlier, where you have this Premier League team on the road getting a really nice price on the money line, really nice plus money price. So I'm just going to take the swing, take Newcastle to win. Pretty rare you're going to see them plus 140 dogs against almost anyone. I mean, Leverkusen, all the German teams, tough places to go, but I do expect the Geordies to win this one. So give me that money line, Jord.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough, Dev. You could have taken Newcastle on the team total over 1.5, get even money. Love that. Minus a quarter, plus 105. But you're taking the big swing, the plus 140. And I think that's right. Look, if Newcastle score twice, I think they probably do win the game. At worst, I think they, keep you half of your stake if you took that minus a quarter on the spread. So why not swing for the fences? They are the better team.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard for any team to score twice on the road. At least this way I get the 1-0 on my side.
Absolutely.
Without worrying about that team total. Matty D in the chat says, watching on a slight delay, but hoping the fellows are on Frankfurt Barcelona overs. Happy holidays, guy. Enjoying the show. Thanks so much, Matty D. Yeah, Frankfurt Barcelona overs. It's hard to find value. We talked about that game. You can press rewind if you want to go check that one out. Thanks so much.
No, he's not there yet, is what he's saying. He's behind.
Oh,
so
slight delay.
I think you're going to like what you hear, Matty. You're going to like what you hear.
Yes, you are, Matty. Right on, Jordan. Let's move on. More matches to cover. We've got Juventus against Pafos. Let me get the graphic up on the screen. There it is. Juventus in this one are home favorites of 2 goals, -2. The total is set at 3.25. This Pafos team, Jordan, they're traveling in from, is it Uzbekistan? I believe that's where they're from.
That sounds right.
Yes, because Kairat Almaty. No, Pafos is from Cyprus. Okay, I have to remember this. Those are the two. I get those two confused.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes, the Cypriots now traveling to Turin to face Juventus. Jordan, what do you think about this matchup?
Well, Dev, I'm responsible for this game being covered here.
Yes, you are.
To me, it does not really matter where Pafos are from. That +2 is too big. This Juventus team shouldn't be -2 favorites against anyone in this competition. Not the way they're playing currently. I think they have a lot of frailties. They're still trying to figure things out. Look, the Juventus team total lined at 2.5, -138. is wild to me. This Pafos team have been competitive in this competition. Let me see actually where they sit in the standings. They are just in the top 24 here, right? Same amount of points as Juventus, same amount of points as Marseille and Monaco. They've been no slouches so far. This will probably be their toughest test, but for Juventus to win this by 3 clear goals, when they'll probably rotate for it as well, I think that's a tall order. So I'm putting my money on my favorite price, plus 100 even money for Pafos to at least push for me on this +2 Asian handicap.
Wow. This is one of those ones that starts off and it's like Juventus scores twice in 15 minutes and you go, well, there goes my handicap. That's gone. there goes that 2-goal cushion.
It's possible. No, more likely it's 70 minutes 0-0 and then Juventus score like 6 in the last 20. Yeah. It's like Pafos have completely lost the plot.
Yeah, well, they just ran out of gas, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm feeling like a genius for 75 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I hear where you're going with the +2. It is a lot to give a team in a Champions League competition. I worry that Spalletti is maybe starting to figure some stuff out with this Juventus team. I mean, Yildiz, like just giving him the keys and saying like, you're the guy, Kenan Yildiz, you're our guy. You're going to be out there doing everything for us offensively. And maybe they can put up a bunch of goals. I don't know. I'm not touching this fucking game, Jordan. This is insane.
It's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Yeah, but I like where your head's at. We got one more match for you guys, but before we get there, we do want to take the time to say if you've made it this far, please give us a like, a follow, a subscribe. It means a lot to us, helps us grow the show. We can see a bunch of people are watching this live right now. So if you can just throw a like, whatever platform you're on, it would go a long way to helping us grow this thing. We do appreciate it. We do this for free. We don't charge you anything. We offer a Discord server for free because we love doing it. We love talking soccer. And if you're into talking soccer, Jord, we got a big one coming up on Wednesday. It's Real Madrid against Manchester City. This one currently lined as a pick, and the total is set at 3.25. Boy, Jord, where do you even start with this? Madrid, is Xabi Alonso on the hot seat? They failed to score against Celta de Vigo at home on the weekend. An insane result. On the other side of this, Manchester City, who does Pep start? Who's going to be in this game? I don't know. Is he going to pull up academy kids? Who knows what Pep's going to do? He's a mad scientist, and all of a sudden he finds himself right in a title race in the EPL, meaning what does this competition matter? Well, we'll see because they lost their last time out against Leverkusen, so they got to have a bounce back here, Jord. But boy, what do you think about this matchup? It seems like we get these two teams meeting every year now.
Yeah, absolutely, Deb. I think I heard that they've met 10 times since 2020 already. That's wild. Wow. So 10 times in the Pep era. Yeah, Dev, look, Real Madrid sitting in 5th in the table. Man City just outside of the top 8, but level on points with the top 8. Just 2 points off of the aforementioned 5th place. So, yeah, did they need this game? No, not really. So I think there's every chance we do see rotation for Man City here, less so for Madrid because they just got embarrassed over the weekend in La Liga, and because Alonso is under some pressure. I think we do see a pretty strong Real Madrid team, and I think they'll raise their game for this, absolutely. Look, Dev, this Man City team has been doing really well in the Prem for the most part. They're scoring goals, although I was also surprised to hear that Haaland has only scored in one of his last 5 games, although he has provided some assists as well. Listen, Pep, you can't trust him, right? They were winning in the Prem, and then they had a home game at the Etihad against Leverkusen last time out. He made 10 changes. That's basically the entire team, and they promptly lost at home 2-0 to a Leverkusen team. And now they're traveling to the Bernabeu against a hungry Real Madrid, who are going to probably raise their game here. And Pep's probably going to make a bunch of weird changes again. So I didn't want to touch this because I think City are the better team. If he puts out a halfway decent lineup, I think they probably win this game at a massive price. But I can't trust him, Dev. I'm staying away. And I can't trust Madrid either right now. I need to see more from them.
Wow, you're staying off of this one, Jordan.
I
That
know,
is,
shocking. I'm playing Pafos, but I'm not playing
yeah,
Real Madrid, Man City.
yeah. Juventus Pafos. Yeah, good luck with that one. At least this one I'll be entertained by. But I'm telling you, Jordan, when do you get these kind of prices? When are you going to get Manchester City? I actually got them at a better price in the card here on the money line, plus 170.
Huge.
You said it. I've been screaming about it all show. You got to look at the lineups here. You got to see what Pep does, because if he's going to have Omar Marmoush and not Holland in there, then it's an automatic void. It should just be, you should be able to void your bet right away with the sports book. If I don't see Doku, Foden, Holland up top, Reinders, Gonzalez, Bernardo Silva, Nico O'Reilly in the back, like I need to see the big guns out there, Pep. So don't fuck me on this, please, because you're the better team. They're a better team than Real Madrid right now. And Real Madrid, tons of suspensions and injuries in the back. Their back line is going to be real thin, okay? Because they're missing Dean Huijsen, doubtful. David Alaba, doubtful. Eder Militao, out. Carvajal has been out for a while. Alexander-Arnold is out for this one. Nobody's playing in the back. It's going to be Fede Valverde playing right back, Carreras on the left, probably Rudiger and Asensio in the center backs. Those are all good players, but they're thin. So if they can keep it tight for long enough, City should win this game. They also need it a little more. They're 2 points behind Madrid. If they do want to jump into that top 8, get the bye week, it would be helpful for a team like City, who have so many competitions on their radar. But again, this just comes down to pricing, where the teams are at. There's a lot of grumbling in Madrid. I don't think that Xabi Alonso has really won over the team yet. I'm not sure they like him. I'm not sure they trust him. And that seat might be getting pretty hot if they lose this game, because that was an embarrassing result on the weekend against Celta Vigo. They cannot be getting blanked against that team at home. That is crazy. So
yeah, but it's still like, it's a little overblown. They're 4 points out of first in the Liga, and they're top 5 in the Champions League. Like, it's not a disaster by any means.
Yeah, but it's like, it's more about the product like that we're witnessing on the field. It's pretty uninspiring. When they come up against good teams, they don't play well. You know, they lost to Barcelona, or no, they beat Barcelona actually.
Yeah.
Now I gotta check. Okay, they beat Barcelona, so that's their one like great win. But they lost to Atleti, their crosstown rivals. Lost at Liverpool. When it comes to the big games, I don't see them showing up as much. I mean, maybe this will be not a big game for them, and they've won 3 straight against City head to head across the years. You mentioned how many times they've played one another. So I think that could be on Pep's mind. I think he has something here, and I just want to back the team that I think is better, getting a massive price on the money line, plus 170. If you want to put the bet in now, do it as a pick so you can push out if it is a draw. Otherwise, wait until, what will be for me 11:30 in the morning before this game kicks off at noon, just to see the lineup so I can see what the hell is going to happen. But either way, George, should be a lot of fun. The occasion will be big no matter what.
Yeah, the trouble with it is if you do wait for lineups, you're going to lose that massive price on City. If Pep does rotate like he did last time, that price is going to crash massively. But Dev Jackie in the chat, she agrees with you. Save the best for last. Man City all day. It's a big price. Massive.
Huge price. Huge price for all these Premier League teams on the road, getting big, plus money on the money line on the 3-way there. So not every time you're going to see stuff like that. But Jordan, look, we've talked about 10 matches, a lot of fun bets talked about, thrown around. Thank you, chat. But before we get out of here, there's something we got to do.
We do indeed, Dev, because it's one thing to talk about these matches, and it's quite another to put our money where our mouths are and pay the bookie.
Chuck, I'm going to tell you something. You have that fucking 200 in my hands tomorrow. If you ain't got the 200 in my fucking hands tomorrow, I'll break every fucking bone in your body.
All right, George, let's throw up the official plays on the screen. We'll read them out for those of you listening on the pod. Starts off with Bayern Munich on the money line, parlayed with over 3.5 goals in the match at plus 110. I'm taking Chelsea on the money line, plus 115. Internazionale Milano minus a quarter of a goal on the Asian handicap, minus 118. Barcelona, minus 2.25 goals on the Asian handicap, minus 118 as well. PSG, minus 1 on the Asian handicap, minus 103. Free hit, we like to call it. And then it's the Premier League moneyline special, Jordan. Newcastle moneyline plus 140. Manchester City moneyline plus 170. Let's take some swings, baby. Come on.
Yeah, Dev, as I say, you've done well with those big prices lately. I hope you hit those again. I'm on Bayern to score in both halves and to have the most corners in the match at plus 105. I'm back in Liverpool. Oh boy, Liverpool plus a half a goal here to get some kind of result in Milan, minus 125. That worked out well for us despite being Oppo. Dev getting Inter minus a quarter at about the same price that I'm getting Liverpool plus a half a goal. Barcelona first half team total over 1.5 at plus 120. PSV Eindhoven double chance and over 1.5 goals at minus 105. I forgot to mention this when we broke the match down, but I double dipped on this one. I'm taking the American Ricardo Pepi to score or assist at any time in the match at plus 125. Perisic is out. We've got Van Bommel out. It's got to come from somewhere. I think Pepi and Saibari are your guys. Slavia Prague traveling to Tottenham Hotspur. Slavia to score a goal at minus 132. They haven't done it in a while. Can they do it at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium? And finally, Pafos, the Cypriots, plus 2 on the Asian handicap as they travel to Turin to take on Juventus at my favorite price, even money.
Right on, Jord. Boy, I'll tell you, listening to some of these cities, talking about some of these things, I just want to be in Europe, man. I want to be there with a Glühwein in my hand, steaming cup of German mulled wine, sipping that thing, screaming at TVs as I'm losing money or making money. You know, that's the goal.
That's right.
Boy, yeah, there's nothing like that. It's getting cold outside, holidays, betting, drinking. What could be better?
Well, you froze on me.
Yeah, we're having some technical difficulties. I think that's a good time to say we should probably say goodbye. Thank you all so much for listening. Thank you all so much for listening, and we will tell you until next time, we'll be back on Thursday for more action. Jump in our Discord, hop in and join the conversation. We'd appreciate it, and thank you guys all so much for hopping on the stream. Jord, any last words for the people?
No, Dev, I think you summed it up perfectly. Thanks to the chat tonight. Chat was alive. We like to see it. And bet responsibly with all these bets. We got plenty more Champions League action for the rest of the season, not to mention domestics and a World Cup coming up this summer. So manage that bankroll. Let's make some money.
Let's make some money.
Martial.